So I'm going to make a really controversial statement. I think The Office got worse when Michael left. Now, of course, I'm kidding. That is like the least controversial opinion to have, and it's pretty much a fact at this point, but I want you to put yourself in the place of the writers. I've been taking karate classes online is one of my favorite lines ever. Just look at how confidently Zach delivers it and how Rain and Jim lose it immediately. This guy is seriously funny. If Zach was able to make these guys laugh so hard that they had to cut most of the scene, then I really feel the writers missed an opportunity to give Gabe more time in the limelight. He is literally sequestered out in the annex and only occasionally appears for one-off jokes mostly. It to me that Zach Woods is the real deal. He is hilarious and has such an intense understanding of comedic line delivery, and it makes me so angry that The Office spent so much time ruining Andy, or trying to make Nellie work, or wasting time on Pete and Dwight Jr., instead of just using the absolute powerhouse in the annex. The one scene in the show that I feel actually uses Gabe to his full potential is when Andy has brought back Pete's ex to talk about relationships with Aaron and Gabe. This entire scene cracks me up. It's like the writers couldn't see what they had on them at the time. I would be less upset with it if they weren't constantly introducing pointless characters in an attempt to spice up the show. Just use your core cast. I mean, Zach Woods is sitting on the bench, just put him in, coach. But instead of just being bitter and talking about how much they ruined the show, I want to talk a little bit about what I would have done instead. I want to talk about how a version of The Office could have looked with Gabe in the leading role. I don't want it to seem like I'm saying that I know better, I really don't. The fact that the creative team behind The Office kept it going for so long while maintaining a good standard of quality is incredibly impressive, but I'd like to share what I would have liked to have seen explored more. So here is my version of The Office with Gabe in charge. Michael leaves and Dunder Mifflin needs a new manager. I think the entire search for the manager can stay the same. The big difference comes down to Robert California. Instead of having him show up and then convince Joe to quit her job, the search committee takes too long to decide on a candidate, so Joe defaults to putting Gabe in charge. This fits with Joe's dispassionate view of the branch and puts the rest of the cast in a situation where they feel they need to come together against Gabe, and it also sets up a great conflict that can be slowly resolved through the course of the season. At first, Gabe starts to make unwelcome changes. Maybe he wants to implement some of the Eastern philosophy that he seems obsessed with. Maybe he presents some legitimately good business ideas that are just the wrong fit for the company. Either way, he needs to build up animosity between himself and the rest of the branch. Then, while the branch is plotting to take him down, he needs to start winning over the members one by one. This gives us the opportunity to see the gentle, caring side of Gabe while also getting more mileage out of the original cast. We could see him pull Pam aside and initially offend her with his frank approach to her sales performance, but then show that he's organized a list of leads that fit her personality more. When she sees the effort he put in and the results of his philosophy, she can be won over to his side. This brings up another core aspect of the rehabilitation of his character, and that is humility. Gabe has always come off as rather arrogant and brash despite his quiet persona. This makes him off-putting to a lot of people, but I think putting him in a position where he has to admit that he doesn't know what he's doing could really soften up his character. I could see him asking Oscar and Stanley for help when it comes to understanding the history of the company and the way that the other employees respond to styles of management. It's important that Gabe wants to learn and help out, but also learns after a couple episodes to take advice from those around him. Another really important aspect to this whole character arc is that Jim and Dwight are the last ones to be won over. We could get a great episode of the two coming together and realizing that they're still trying to hold on to Michael and are afraid of change. We could get a really great moment of character growth for the two, with Dwight taking the first step to respect Gabe's new authority. And maybe I'm getting too sentimental for a comedy, but I would love a scene where Gabe admits that he needs extra help and decides to make Dwight assistant regional manager. Dwight could look shocked and then correct him by saying assistant to the regional manager like Michael did, and Gabe could look confused and correct him back to assistant regional manager. Through the perspective of Gabe, someone who doesn't understand all of the in-jokes of The Office, we can symbolically leave those aspects of the show behind and focus on something new. From there, we have a version of The Office that looks and feels similar to what it was like when Michael was there, but it has an entirely new central character that it can base its stories and jokes off of. We could see more outside threats come to Dunder Mifflin, a rival company near them, a new corporate mandate, or the need to let someone go. Seeing Gabe push back against the corporate culture that he'd been so rightfully upholding for years would be a satisfying twist on his character. This could all culminate in an episode where Joe decides to leave Sabre and expects Gabe to come with her, only for Gabe to reject that idea and say that he wants his new home to be Scranton. Again, maybe it's a little too sentimental, but I think it could work. Honestly, I could go on all day about how I think Gabe could have saved The Office. I actually think there's a version of the show that manages to gain momentum after Michael leaves, rather than just kind of aimlessly wander like it unfortunately did. But let me know what you guys think. Am I totally crazy? I'd really love to hear what you guys think. what you think the direction of the show should have been, or if you just think the show was fine after Michael left. Leave it in a comment down below. That'd be awesome. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you liked the video. I just recently hit 300 subs and would love to hit 500 by the end of the summer. The support on the channel has been amazing, and there's going to be more video essay style stuff just like this coming soon. There's also going to be more comedy shorts and just whatever else I feel like I'm going to be making. So thank you guys so much. You're all the best, and I'll see everybody later. All right, bye.